Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. Today we're off of 95th Street on location at Codinu, where kids learn to code. So tell me a little bit about how you got into this.
So I got my first computer when I was 11 years old in the year 1995. My brother used to tinker with the computer, and I used to take it up sometimes and just play with it. And I knew I was going to do something with computer eventually. And it was that PC, that box that we had, like the primitive one with Windows 95. And I started working on that. Then by the time it was year 2000, I first got introduced to coding as part of my high school curriculum. And it was not only the language, the coding language, that inspired me or took me forward, but it was also the dedication of my wonderful teacher, and that got me interested. And I decided that I wanted to pursue computer engineering. And I grew up in the Gulf. I grew up in Kuwait, and then I went to India to do my computer engineering, moved to the US to do my master's in computer science, and then I worked for a couple of years in IBM back in India. And here, after I completed my master's, I pursued software development job, and I was doing a regular corporate software development job. And then I decided, I did some soul searching, and I figured that all along, while I was pursuing my master's or back in school, the one thing that I really enjoyed doing was to teach how to code. So not only coding, but so I was like always a mentor for my peers, and I just naturally enjoyed doing it. So I thought that this is something that I need to do. I wanted to pursue education and my passion for coding. So teach kids how to code, and also there's a need for teaching, having highly qualified teachers to teach coding, and that's like one of the reasons that I started this.
And when did this start? When did Codinu start?
So I started it in April of 2016, and the business model that I started with was to collaborate with the community centers, park districts, and offer classes there. Then I founded this coding studio in June of 2018. That's when I started the coding studio. And we are the first coding studio in Naperville. We offer a collaborative space as well as a space for them to present their ideas and their projects to their peers, and also an individual self-reflection space where they can sit by themselves and just go coding. So
that's wonderful. Why do we all need to learn some coding?
Everything is driven by technology. Technology is everywhere. Whatever a child pursues, be it computer science or not, it could be medicine, fashion design, movies, like filmmaking. Technology is everywhere, and it is important that we take the kids back on the other side of these gadgets, on the other side of the technology, and help them be technology creators rather than mere consumers. And also, coding has become a necessary 21st century skills that allows them to think creatively, and it ignites problem-solving skills, which is the need for the hour right now. So we need to teach them how to code so that they become creative thinkers and problem solvers in the future.
That's wonderful. I completely agree with you. It's our new language going forward.
Yes.
What are some of the highlights?
Highly qualified instructors. It is not found that it's very rare that you have somebody who does masters in computer science and pursues education. And I want to encourage more teachers who have a highly qualified computer science background to come and teach here. And we have teachers who have either masters in computer science or pursuing, or a higher qualification who are teaching here. And that's the main highlight. The second one is we provide a small class size so that we can offer individual focus and a 4:1 student-teacher ratio. Our teaching assistants are also very qualified. They are either in school who have an intent to pursue computer science, or who are in with a background of computer science. So they can actually teach in depth.
My role in this class is to help the students understand anything that they need to get, and just basically to assist them and walk around, make sure they're keeping on task and anything they need. I met Miss Akina at Girls Who Code, and she taught me and really firstly introduced me to coding. She really enjoys her job and what we're doing, and she's always very involved with like what's happening in the classroom and how the kids are, and that's kind of what makes this job really special. I always wanted a job that mattered, so I really appreciate that with this job, like we're pushing forward for the young generation and getting them involved in code and getting them engaged with their futures, and that's what I really wanted to do with my life.
Tell me some of the classes that are offered here.
So we offer 4 different categories of classes to begin with. We start with Coding Foundation. So that is for younger students or for teenagers as well who have no background in computer science, who have no background in coding. It's a great way to teach them using block-based coding language. So they're not really typing in code, but they're connecting blocks. But they are, while doing that, they are developing the basics of computer science. They're learning that, and then after that they move on to real world programming languages. Those are like text-based programming languages. You might have heard of C, C++, Java is very popular. So right now we offer Python, coding in Python. It's an easier text-based programming language. I say easier because the syntax or the way to write it is simpler for kids to catch up. So that's what we are offering at the moment, and then we'll add on more real-world programming languages. And that is the language that is used in big companies like Google or YouTube or Dropbox or you name it, like Microsoft. So that's like the real world programming languages. Those are offered to students in ages 10 to 17. And we also offer web design and development class. As you know, websites are, everywhere. Like for everything, we have a website. So we are teaching them how to create a website. And the 4th category is robotics. So robotics age is for the entire age group, 7 to 17. Depending on their age and their level, we offer different robotics workshops and classes.
How does Codinu complement the education, whether you be in elementary, junior high, or high school? How does this, being a part of this group, help you in high school, maybe with your own computer science there?
For sure, yeah, that's a good question. So what we do is we offer project-based learning, and what we do, we get the concepts of physics and math in our day-to-day coding projects. So when we develop games, for instance, when we are teaching, have you heard of the Angry Birds game? So Angry Birds game uses a lot of projectile physics. And you don't know that, right? Like when you're actually, when you teach a child that we are going to build a game similar to Angry Birds, they get excited. And while they're developing that, they're learning a lot of physics concepts. Similarly, you teach them building a different game, which in turn also helps solidify some math in the background. So without them realizing that they are learning math and physics, it actually helps you strengthen those concepts as well. And then going into high school, when we teach elementary and middle school kids how to code at that early age, it's like learning a new language. The younger you are, the faster you learn. And by the time they reach high school, they are ready to take their AP computer science courses and excel in those as well. And they're ready for their future. It just prepares them for the career readiness, I would say.
I would say this is a wonderful environment for a child or an older student to learn all that they need to know about coding, because coding is going to be part of our world, and you're going to help us get ready for it. Thanks so much for letting us stop by your space and see how you do everything. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you. It was my pleasure as well. Thank you. Thank you.